Good evening. I am here. Can you believe it? I hardly can. Thank you for all of your lovely good wishes. Goodness me. It wasn't a very good few days, I can tell you, and I am feeling a lot better though. But we also had no internet whatsoever. A village thing, not just us. The whole half of one side of the village, the side that I live on, wasn't anything at all. So we now have that as from late yesterday afternoon. So I'm sure it will be okay now. And I've decided that what I was going to bring you last Sunday, it's no good. I can't wait any longer to show you because I just love it, and I hope you do too. Excuse me. So I'm going to be bringing you some focal EasyFrames. Now, we had focal EasyFrames last year, just over a year ago, and they were called focal EasyFrames number 1. And now we are on number 2. And the reason for that is because the first ones were more for the 7-inch card, and these ones are designed to go from a 6-inch card. I think a lot more people use the 6 smaller cards occasionally, and of course this would also go on to a larger card. Occasionally I see various different people using 8x8 ones, and I do think, although they're lovely statement pieces, they're just a little bit big, I think. So I've gone more for the smaller ones, small but beautiful. So I'm also teaming it with some of the new Spring is Here decoupage sets because I think they work so very, very well. And just to remind you that I will be here next on Sunday. Now, this die set is part of a small, in terms of major companies, it's minute, but in terms of me, it's a small collection. So on Sunday, I'm going to bring you something that goes with this actual set. So without further ado, let me show you first of all the die set that I'm talking about. So as you can see, you've got the same concept as before. So when I call it a focal frame, it's because we're aiming the focus into the center here. So you've got the 2 dies as always with the EasyFrames. You've got the larger, wider one here, and then if you look, you can see that this is slightly narrower here. And the idea is that they go one on top of another like that, giving you not only that border on the outside, but also the border on the inside. And you don't have to buy 2 sets of dies, it's just the one set. So it gives you a lot of flexibility, and I'm going to show you one of the cards that I made with it. So I'll take those to one side just for a minute. So we'll be using them in a minute. So these are the deco set. Now this one here, if any of you know me, I love guinea pigs, but also rabbits. So when it comes to Easter, rabbits are my thing. So I have done a card, and I'll show you in a minute, using this one, but I am actually going to use do a slightly different one for you today. So this one's called Happy Easter, but it has got sentiments that don't have to be Easter if you prefer, but of course it has got Easter eggs. And then we've got a couple of other Easter type things, obviously. So now these won't fit within the focal frames. These 2 are a little bit larger, but I did bring them in because I just thought that they look quite nice. Not 2, just this one is a bit larger with the beautiful cross, and that one's called Easter Blessings. And then this one is also very, very pretty. It fits in beautifully with it all. It is a square, but it also fits in beautifully with the background. And this one is called Tweet Wishes, which is rather nice. And the one that I'm going to use today is called Heartfelt Wishes, and that is another sort of circular one here, if I show you that. But I was going to show you using this one, the one that I did. So let me just bring that in, and you can see where we're going. So you can make out where your focal frames are. So I've done it in metallic oh sorry, mirror gold, so you can see that shining in the background. And then I've also used completely the decoupage set. So I've used the cards, which I'm going to do again in a minute. I've used the corners that come with that decoupage set. I've used the sentiment, popped it all onto foam, and then of course that gorgeous 3D effect. Don't know if you can see that just about on here with this lovely set. And then when I open it up, we've also got that, which I would write my sentiment and bits and pieces, but that again comes all from the decoupage sets. So of course these EasyFrames are designed to be a focal frame, as it calls it, for anything. So it could be for your own pictures that you may have taken, photographs. It could be for stamping in the center there. It could be for just ordinary colouring. It could be any reason, but I thought I would put some of the decoupage in there. So I hope you like what you see so far. Let me show you a bit more about it. But for now, I'm going to be working with the, now what did we call it again? Heartfelt Wishes. So that's the one that I'm going to be using, which you can't see, that one there. Okay, so pop that into place. So many people have asked for the smaller version, and so that's why I was thinking that's what we've got to do, is the smaller version. So I'm just going to grab myself some gold card and chop that in half first and show you how we go about. So as I said, 6x6 card blank, but of course it's not really a 6x6. It's much more like a 5 3/4, 5 7/8 even. So I'm going to take my frames, and first of all I'm going to use the larger one of the two. I'm going to just pop that onto there and run that through my machine. The actual size of this is 13.5 centimeters. So it just fits in nicely, but gives you a nice border without being too small, which I thought would look rather nice. Now, with my smaller one of the two, I'm going to open up my pack so that we can discover what we've got in here and use that as well. Let's just take this off. So that's what's going to cut out from it. Excuse all the shine and everything. So this is my largest frame of the two. Of course, you could use it just on its own, but I'm going to use it in, to my mind, the best way, which is using both of them together. And this is how your decoupage kits come out. So that's my actual decoupage sheet, which I don't want at the moment. I'm going to pop that to one side. This is also, this is the base for my decoupage, so that's going to go on the front of the card in a second. And I've got, so this is a spring-like but not Easter, so we've got special wishes to you both, with love on this day and always, and sending heartfelt wishes to a treasured friend. So all of those can be suitable. And then we've got this lovely sort of insert bit. So I've got another one of the wreath type things here, but I've also got some very much spring flowers. And I'm just going, so this is the smaller one, and I'm just going to work out, I think I'm going to go that way round and cut it out like that. Just working. Yeah, I think that would look quite nice. So I'm going to tape that into place. Now I could place that anywhere on here really, but I think that that one works quite well. So I'm just going to run that through my machine. And then take my card blank, fold that over, just give that a little burnish. and my card itself will have that on the front of it. Okay, so let's, oh, throwing it about. Oh, it moved. Why did I let it move? Hey, that's a bit naughty of me. Could put it back in there, really, couldn't I? Let me just trim it down. I let it move and it hasn't cut the very edge of my thing. There we go. So when I then take my gold piece, I'm going to put that over the top here so that it all sort of blends in. It all looks as if it's part of it, because it is. That's how it's meant to go. And I think that that sort of looks really rather nice. So let's put these two together. So I'm just going to put some glue onto the back of my card piece. And as I said, they're just so versatile, the EasyFrames, that you could use them for anything. You might be someone that does a lot of pergamano or stitching or anything like that, or likes taking photographs and sending your own photographs on cards. And again, this would make a lovely focal part of that card. So that's all we have to do. Just add that top frame to the bottom frame. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to add some tape. Have to be a little bit careful because don't forget I've actually stuck this onto a mirror card, so therefore it will be take a little longer to actually adhere, so I don't want to spin it around too much. So I'm just going to pop foam on there. Again, you don't have to, but especially if you're using a bit of decoupage, I think that looks particularly nice if you do that. Okay, so there we've got our front. So if we bring our card in, I'm going to turn it around so that the top is where my fold is, and my little wrens are going to go in the center. And before I actually stick anything down, I'm just going to check that that is where I want it to be, which I think is about there. So you can see what I mean about I've given it a nice wideish border around here so that it's not just, for me, to have the EasyFrame so that it is absolutely on the edge is not what I want, which is why it always gives you that little bit of a border. Okay, but it does look very spring-like, doesn't it? So let me just now add a bit of glue to here. So this is the base of the decoupage. And again, before I actually stick that down, I want to just check. And I can move it all the time that the glue's still wet like that. There. So stick that into place there. Remove the backing from here. Oh. And then with the decoupage sheet that comes with all of this, there's lots of different elements, and you could make it, goodness knows how deep, but I always think that you could also get away with you making 2 cards out of your actual piece. Now, if you are using one of these, you do need to make sure that you've got your flowers, whoops, going the right way. So just pop that over the top like that. So again, if you wanted to, it could be just that. You don't need to put in anything else really, but we're going to put some decoupage onto it. So you can see that you've got this big piece. Now I'm not quite sure whether I am going to put that on or not, because that one, this big piece, could actually be the basis of another one. Do you know what I mean? And I have a feeling that I'm not going to do it. So that goes onto there. I might, but I might leave it because these look equally. So I've got that bird on that side. that one there. And that bit. That bit. That bit, and another little bird down here, I reckon. Right, that will do me. And then I've got all of those bits and pieces here, including that one, which I could then use as a second card. So let me just then take these out of the way, make sure I've got them, and then add to the back some foam. I've started to use for these pieces some of the Hunky Dory foam pads, because I've found that they worked really well. They don't need any extra sticky, so that's what we're going to go with. So this is 2mm, which is quite adequate, and just pop that into place. Just pop that into there. And then I've got some extra tiny ones, or just a strip. Let's go for a strip, shall we? Oh, there was me expecting to pull it and break it. Didn't work like that, did it? Just a little bit there. So just for that. Can't wait to see some of your card creations that you use, and it would be lovely to see if any of you use it for photographs, because I do think that that is an added one for you to be using. So let me just, so that little one goes there. So with decoupage, all you simply need to do is take off your foam and then put this one exactly over the top of the previous layer, and it just adds that dimension to it. So I'm just going to take my little wren, the little bird, and I'm just going to pop him into there. I'm going to line the bird up, and then I know that the rest of it will just slot into place as well. That's how I do my decoupage. And then again, take the bird, line him up, line that beak up, and everything else just slots into place. Take this one. Again, this is the same bird because we've got the yellow daffodils coming round here. Nice lot of spring flowers there. Isn't it lovely to see all the daffodils everywhere? I am feeling better, thank you, everyone. Yeah, still got a little bit of a funny throat. I'm really glad that it's first day of spring tomorrow, I think I saw. Is it tomorrow? Or if not, the next day, because I'm fed up of this winter. I seem to have got a cold in November and I just get over it and I get another one. I don't know. Then this little one goes over there. And then the little birds themselves, they are on here. So I think that's that little bird, that little wren. And that's this side. So you can make as much or as little as you prefer out of that, but I do think it looks lovely. And I think, although I very often use silicone for the back of these, I think it's quite nice to them all be an absolute definite width there, or depth, I should say. Now I'm just thinking whether I think I quite like that. I'm going to pop that into the center. So that comes from the decoupage sheet. And again, you've got that. If you looked on that, you've got this sort of gingham, which is the same here. So it looks quite nice. So then I'm going to turn that over and bring back in my sheet. So this time I'm going to bring this in so that I've got my sheet that I'm working down here. So I'm going to trim this down to 13.5 centimetres by 13.5 centimetres. And I'm going to do it by trimming around that little wreath there. I don't want any more decoupage, just the wreath there. So 13.5 by 13.5. Now I could also, if I wanted to, I could put a gold layer on, but I'm not going to, but I could do. So I'm going to pop that into the centre and do my writing in there. I'm then going to take this little strip. So this is again part of the set. And I'm going to trim that, down to 13.5 as well. I'll just remove the end there, which I had to cut by hand, so I don't want that. And cut that to 13.5. And then I can fit that at the top or even at the side, but I think I'll go for it at the top. It's a nice little added something. Then I've got just thinking whether I will, let's see. I think I shall put that in the centre as well, which says with love on this day and always. And then I can stick that straight onto there. And then finally, I've just got the corners to put onto the front of my card. So that goes onto there. Now, just got to do my corners. So as I said, these all come with corners that are already done. The metal corners that we've got, they all fit on here nicely as well, the small focal ones. I think there are still a few of those left. But for this, I'm going to actually use these die cut pieces because they seem to go in very well. And then just going to pop some glue onto that. And pop them into each one of the corners. And because they're from the same set, the little pattern that they've got, some little flowers in the centre there, they're all the same flowers, all the same colours. When I very first started, well, not very first started, but in the early days, I was a Stampin' Up person, if you see what I mean. And one of the things that I miss on Stampin' Up was the fact that their colours. So if you are familiar with them, they do colour ranges of inks and ribbons and papers and you name it, all in the same colour range. So if they bring out a new set of colours, they're all going to be, everything is matching. And I love that. And I have to say, this is something that I love from the Hunky Dory brand because all of their colours on here match their coloured card. And they've got a little gems and that sort of thing. So I quite like the idea that that's all matching. So there we go. So you can see in all its glory now what the Focal Frames 2 look like. Okay. The metal corners aren't new, Peter. They are, I think, almost at the very bottom of the all YouTube products. They're called small focal corners, I think. But yeah, they're not actually new because I'm not launching that. The corners that I do fit with any frame, so I'm not going to launch any new ones of those at the moment. But as I said, on Sunday I do have the second part of the Focal Frames 2 collection to show you, which I think that you're going to love. You do more or less, well, you could use it on its own, but more or less you do, it benefits by having this frame first, but you're going to love it. I love it. I'm very excited by these. I just think they're so lovely. I have to say the rabbit is my absolute favourite, but only if you look at that little face. Oh my god, adorable. And also this one though is still as adorable. There's little birds, and then when you open them up it just runs through completely. I just love it that it all just mixes and matches. And as I said, I reckon that each pack of the decoupage kits, so as I said, it comes with an A5 piece for your background, which has these bits. It has a full A4 sheet of your decoupage and a full A4 sheet of your backgrounds. And I think that with a little bit of mixing and matching, you could get away with using two cards from the set, I should say, two cards from one kit, which I reckon's pretty good going. So there you go. And then, as I said, this is the Easter one that I made earlier. So you've got your Focal Frames 2 there. You've got your gold mirror card. Then I cut from the inside of the frames, added the little corner pieces, added the sentiment down here on this one. And then in the center, same sort of thing, got the little bunny just running through the same thing, and popped one of the little borders on the top there as well. So there you go. I'm sorry it took so long to get to you, but the world of the internet is brilliant when it works, and when it doesn't work you're thinking, oh my goodness me. So I'm glad that you like them, so that is good. Yeah, few thumbs up, that would be good as well. So thumbs up along this line somewhere here. Now let me just tell you that so Peter, yes, it is a new EasyFrame set. This is the EasyFrame, the Focal Frame 2, so it is considerably smaller than the other one. If I had the other one to hand, let me just show you. So this is the Focal Frame 1. Obviously I've not cut it out. This is the back piece, so this is the bigger piece. Let me just show you next to it. So this is my 6x6 card, and you can see that it was considerably bigger. Okay, so this is the one that we've got now, and this is the one that we had. This is Focal 1, and this is Focal 2. In actual fact, they do, if you put them that way round, you can actually make them a quadruple one. So you could, they all match together. So you could do this, finish off your Focal 1, which is this bigger one, and then do your 2, and you've actually got an even bigger area for focals. So that's the difference in size. You can see that if I put that down in the corner, that one is considerably bigger. Okay, so that one was designed more so for your 7-inch cards. This one though, today's one, is now designed to go onto your 6x6 cards, and that is your Focal Frame 2. So thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate your company. Do look forward to seeing what you've got that when you get these and how you're going to make them, because it would be lovely to see. Did I miss another question? I thought I did, so I do apologise. Getting carried away. Oh, I can't go down without doing it. Sorry, if I'm sure I saw another question there and I missed it, so I do apologise for that if I did. I'll be back on Sunday, as I said, bringing you the second part of this new collection. Do hope that you can join me then at 6 o'clock. Until then, have a really good week. Looking forward to seeing the people that I should have seen last Saturday. Seeing you all again this Saturday, hopefully, with our online workshop, which with no internet and no voice, I had to cancel that as well. But onwards and upwards, eh? Thank you for your time, everyone. Take care, and I will see you again very soon. Many thanks. Bye.